Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Conversations from the Canopy. I am your host, Don Foiani. Although I am not sure how often I'll be able to produce this series, my goal is that my canopy, I am the gorilla with glasses after all, becomes a place to discuss any matters of capital. Finance, technology, stocks of course, alternatives, commodities, bonds. Okay, maybe not bonds. Basically anything that is interesting, keyword interesting, and involves the movement of money or capital. For this inaugural episode, I decided to call on a crypto maven by the name of Bastian. I met him in Alvaro's Discord. Alvaro runs the bilingual stock market channel here on YouTube. Every day he is releasing videos and going live in English and Spanish, so if you want to learn a thing or two about trading stocks, his channel is worth a visit. This conversation, though, will start with Bastian providing us his background in blockchain and a broad view on the space overall. From there, we pivot to talk about best practices for beginners. How to buy, where to hold, the topic of cold and hot wallets comes up, and of course how to stake. Then we talk a little bit about differentiating between different coins. Not all cryptocurrencies are made equal after all. I get him to dig a little deeper into Dan Ives' WorldCoin, and then we touch on the threat posed by quantum. I am a stock guy after all, and quantum is certainly in vogue right now. Finally, we wrap up with a small impromptu discussion on the endgame. What does the world look like when all the BTC that's available has been mined? This is a packed 45 minutes. It's the kind of discussion where you leave with as many new answers as you do new questions. Speaking of, if any pop into your mind, leave them in the comments. While you're there, here comes the obligatory influencer jargon. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I would love to have Bastian back in the future to answer those questions. But if you don't want to wait, you can find Bastian on all social media at Todo and cadena, and I'll allow the Spanish speakers to poke fun at that pronunciation. Now that all the formalities have been formalized, I'll send you right into the show. Enjoy. How did this start? What brought you to get interested in this technology?
I'm moving in the United States around 9 years ago, but only 5, 6. My girlfriend is trying to move it to the United States. And we have money that we want to move. If you want to move it between bank and a bank in a different countries, you have to use the long way, put it in that term. And I'm starting interested, okay, how can I move money easy and pay less money to the third part? And you're receiving it in another country and maybe nobody knows that you moved that money or you received that money in a different country. A couple of friends of me, they explained me about Bitcoin. That's in the beginning. Bitcoin at that time, maybe the price was, I don't know, $12,000, maybe $13,000. And they told me, okay, you want to move money from Colombia to the United States? I give you the option. We can buy Bitcoins. You can move it right there. And I find a person that they give you dollars or they give you stable coins, whatever money that you want to receive. And I started thinking about, oh, that's interesting because the only way that I really know to move money between Colombia and United States is using a bank. And you have to do the CH process that it take you maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks because the banks, they have to exchange the numbers, your data, your information and everything, who's the money come from and everything like that. When I understand you can move that money so easy and you don't have to ask a third person, please move this money for me. I'm really interested about Bitcoin. That's the first approach with that technology.
You touched on a couple of things that I think are interesting. I'm not sure what the reach of Alvaro's Discord is. Obviously, there's a lot of
Yeah.
Spanish speakers, a lot of people in the United States. I'm obviously a little bit more ingrained in the financial
Yes.
community, and I'm not exactly as crypto native as you are. But one of the points that I make to a lot of people is that if you are from the United States and you don't need to send money outside of the United States and you're not worried about constant fluctuations in your currency's value, then the value proposition of Bitcoin is maybe lost on
Yeah.
you. If you don't know what's moving an asset, and in my opinion, cryptocurrency, broadly speaking, is a commodity.
Yes.
It's as simple as talking about supply and demand. Just because you might not understand the value proposition in its entirety, the other 200 plus countries in the world don't have the same luxuries as those in the United
Exactly.
States. There is a huge amount of adoption, a huge amount of demand that's yet to fully pick up.
Yeah. It's for Latin American because we don't have the dollar, our first money. We use a different monies in Latin America. You can use in Colombia the pesos. You go from Mexico, you use the Mexican pesos. You go to Peru, there's another coin or another type of
I see what you're saying.
transfer money. In Latin America, they really love the blockchain technology because they give you the possibility to switch in each one money that you have, you convert in dollars and you preserve a little more of your health or your money if you keep it in dollars because the depreciation is less volatile.
I never really thought of it that way. You're 100% right. If you're in Latin America, all of those countries have their own currency. It's not like the EU,
Exactly.
where you just have this big block of different countries. Yes, there's no euro. There's no Latin American.
We don't have just one currency. And the currencies is fluctuation between the currencies in this country with the dollar because the dollar is the currency of the world.
At least for now. Some people want to make the case that it's the fall of the dollar. I think it's been greatly exaggerated, but we shall see. The dollar's been king for maybe a century. And if you look back at history, it's very rare you get a currency being king for that long. But at the same time, we are in a very interesting paradigm with respect to innovation in the country. We'll see what comes of it.
It's going to be interesting the next couple of years for the currencies around the world.
Totally agree. With that background, spend a couple minutes on this. How do you view crypto broadly? Some people view it as a speculative asset. Other people view it as a currency. Other people view it as a technology. I myself, due to my bias, view it as an asset class. I would love for it to become one that's a lot of demand that makes the prices higher. But how do you personally view the asset class, and has that view evolved over time?
The thing is, when you start to understand the blockchain technology and the different cryptocurrencies, you separate it in categories because Bitcoin is only for preserve your wealth or your money or your keeping value. But if you move into different cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, maybe Solana, maybe SUI, XRP, XLM, they here to cover a different part in our system. Ethereum is the huge community because they create a smart contract. In a smart contract, you and me, we can do a transaction without a third part. Just program in the Ethereum virtual machine that they use. I didn't remember right now the name of the program language, but you can program it the smart contract and you can do transaction in moments, in a seconds. You have a bunch of validators, and if all the information is going right, the contract they executed, and you receive the money, and the other people they have less money in the wallet, and that's it. A period of the time. But Solidity is the name of the language of the program in Ethereum. Most of the developers in Ethereum they learn a different language model. That Solana use another one, SUI use another one, XLM and XRP use another one. When you understand the difference between the blockchain, you can choose your blockchain between if you want to just make money or you want to preserve your money or you want to build something on the blockchain. It depends because if you are an entrepreneur or you want to create any big project, you can use maybe no Ethereum, maybe you can use a layer 2 that it's another layer that is working above Ethereum, that it's Matic, that it's Arbitrum, that it's more easy to use, that is most cheapest and most fastest. Because the real problem that Ethereum has, it's for so many years, any transaction that you try to do in Ethereum is so expensive. If you're trying to move maybe $20 between Ethereum's virtual machines, the peer-to-peer or person-to-person, maybe you have to pay in a gas fee around $5. You tell me, if I want to move 20 and I have to pay 5, it's expensive for me. That's the reason that Ethereum or another companies, they create the layer 2s. You can do the same transaction in Arbitrum or Base or Polygon, and you can pay maybe just cents, 0.001 cents of dollars. That is really good, and they give you the opportunity of the people, they choose the blockchain that they want to use. That's maybe it's complicated for the people to understand my explanation because it's a different blockchains between inside the same blockchain. Do you understand my point?
I understand your point. You're saying that we're talking about layer one,
Exactly.
talking about Ethereum, Solana. Is Bitcoin technically layer one?
Yes, technically, yes.
And people can build on those
Hmm.
chains.
Exactly.
That's layer two. And are these layer two? Are these just protocols or are they their own altcoin?
Have their own coin.
I think this is where some people get lost. Like they understand that, you got Bitcoin, you got Solana, you got Ethereum. And then, when the market is good, we have all of these altcoins. When the market is bad, we have a bunch of shit
Yeah.
coins, for lack of a better term. We lovingly call them shit coins. So when you're talking about these on the level two, the altcoins, that is where you can have a lot more frictionless or transactions with less friction. It doesn't cost as much.
Yes, exactly.
You mentioned it earlier. If you're trying to send $20 in Ethereum, there might be a $5 gas
Yeah.
fee. But if you do it on a level two of Ethereum, like another altcoin, like you have your Ethereum and then you have it into an altcoin, swapping between the
Hmm.
altcoins is very easy. Or is talk a little bit more about that.
No, it's so easy. I want to put it up a simplest example. If you have the Coinbase app and you buy $20 in USDC, you receive $20 in
Right.
USDC because Coinbase, they only charge you a little fee if you convert dollars to a digital dollar.
Real quick, I don't want to, just because I think we're going to have a lot of people that are very new
Okay.
to crypto. USDC is a
A
stable
stable coin.
coin.
Okay. Yes. We have
What?
stable coin in the ecosystem. The first one is Tether, that is USDT, but it's the big company that they don't have any regulation around the world. USDT, they don't regulate anybody. And the second one, that is USDC, is provided by Circle. Circle is the company that you and me, we
Right.
can buy in the store market. When you go to any app to buy stable coins, maybe Kraken, Gemini, Coinbase, Robinhood, whatever, you can choose between an USDC or USDT. There's not a big difference because each one of that, they have the same pair with the dollar or maybe with the euros or maybe with the yen or the pound in England, whatever. When you try to send into your exchange to another person or moving to another person, they want to give you the options. Okay, you have USDC and Ethereum red. You want to move it in the same red, Ethereum, they want to charge you, I don't know, $2, $3, $4. If you want to do it in Base, Linea, Arbitrum, Polygon, that is the same layer twos inside Ethereum, they want to charge you a cent, 0.1 cents of
I see.
dollar to zero. But the big
Mhm.
problem is most of the people, when they buy the stable coins, they don't know the stable coins in which blockchain is run. And when you, okay, can you send me $20 by USDC? And they start to ask you, oh, which red? Oh, okay.
I see.
That's the complication with the new people because they don't understand the difference between the blockchain and the easy way to move the money and pay the less money that is possible.
So just to kind of try to high level
Okay.
this, what you're saying is that once you have USDC, there is an on-chain way to move it without a lot of fee.
Exactly.
But if you don't know how to do that and you just want to send it through Coinbase instead of like say a wallet or whatever, you're going to pay a much higher fee because Coinbase is collecting
Yeah,
that.
exactly. That's the way that Coinbase make money.
Yeah, certainly a very big part of it. I think we've laid a really good foundation here. I want to start moving the conversation into best
Mhm.
practices. Let's say that you had to start investing in crypto tomorrow, or you didn't have any crypto to start with, and you had to start going about it. For the sake of the example, let's say you're price agnostic. You don't care if the price is going up or down. It's just something you believe in. It's something you want to use. It's something you want to become familiar with. Where do you begin?
If you want to do it in a regular way, if you live in the United States or outside the United States, try to open an account in an exchange that have a regulation. Why is important the regulation? Because they keep you safe. They keep safe your money because it's no laundering. In blockchain, there's some wallets that have a red flag. What is a red flag? Maybe it's a hacker wallet and they receive money for hackers in North Korea, or maybe they move money and the government understand that money it's for laundry There's no legal money. If you open an account in an exchange that have regulation, maybe Robinhood, Kraken, Gemini, Coinbase, you feel safe in that way. Second one, if you're doing in Coinbase, that is the huge exchange in the United States, you have more possibilities to buy different coins. Because if you go to maybe a Robinhood, they only have 10 or 12 different altcoins, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the stable coins. But if you move it to Coinbase, maybe you have the option to buy more than 400 or 500 different coins. That's the beauty. If you're doing Coinbase right now, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they give you the possibility to open a wallet. What is a wallet? It's the place where you are the full custodian of your tokens. And the Coinbase wallet is so easy transfer for your Coinbase exchange to your Coinbase wallet. It's so easy, it's so cheap, it's so interactive for the new users. It's really good to do it. But if you start to thinking in a put or a buy a big position of money in a cryptocurrencies, the best idea is custodian by yourself. Not give you the option to the exchange to keep your coins. Because you and me, we saw maybe, if I don't remember wrong, Monday, Robinhood, they don't have the option to close contracts. They have issues around the world. And what happened if you are in profit, you want to sell one of your tokens, maybe Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, and Robinhood, all the time they show you, oh, we have issues with our platform. You want to feel bad because you lose the opportunity to sell higher price.
I see.
You understand my point?
Yeah, so let's go back and summarize what you've said so far. The first thing you would do is make sure you're going with a registered exchange.
Yes.
It provides you security, provides you optionality. The second thing had to do with custody,
Yes.
correct? Be your own custodian, grab a wallet. Here's a question that I get a lot. I'll be honest, I don't really know the answer. What is the difference between a hot wallet and a cold wallet? The wallets we discussed so far, the one on Coinbase and the one on Robinhood, are those hot wallets? Give us a little more information there because I know those are terms that everyone knows, but I don't think everyone really understands.
The big difference between a cold wallet and a hot wallet is the hot wallet is just an extension of your browser, like a MetaMask, like a Ravi, like a Trust wallet. And what happened with that wallets? It's in the web. They have the possibility that the hacker has your Wi-Fi, or maybe you download a document that you don't have to do it.
If you lose your password,
Exactly. You can use your password and delete everything, and you can lose your money or your cryptocurrencies. A cold wallet, they look like a USB. You connect to computer. Sometimes they have like a big screen or a small screen. They show you the phrase, or they show you the amount that you want to transfer. And please confirm, please say yes, please say no. It's just a couple of questions and answers, and that's it.
Okay.
The big difference is one is an extension of your browser, the other one is a USB. The USB is more safe in that terms, but
in theory,
exactly. But sometimes the company that they produce, maybe one of the most popular is Trezor. In the Trezor, you have to upload every single time, every 3 months, every 4 months.
right?
Sometimes the upload,
Oh,
they fake because
I see.
hackers can do it in the same way. And they send you an email or they send you a message in your wallet. Oh, you have to upload your wallet. And when you do it, you accept all the terms and restrictions you never read because nobody read all the information. And you give it the permission to the hacker to come inside to your wallet. It's happened? Yeah. It's coming? No. But it all depends on your safety practice.
Oh, that's perfect. Real quick, because I want to answer the question. Is the Robinhood wallet that you get, that second app that I have on
Yeah.
my phone, I have Robinhood and then I have Robinhood Wallet. Is that considered a hot
Yes.
wallet? That is
Yeah.
a hot wallet. Okay, I just want to make sure because I think some people think those apps are cold wallets.
No, it's a hot wallet.
A cold wallet is, as you've discussed, it's something a little bit more sophisticated than just a USB stick, but it's a physical thing. And you went into a lot of great detail about how a hacker could compromise
Yeah.
that. The joke that I was making was like, what if it falls out of your fucking pocket? You know, it's like, then who knows? Someone might have just found a fantastic gift on them, especially if they don't know what it is.
But as they working in the same way, the hot wallets and the cold wallets, because they give you a 12 phrase or 12 words. And if you only keep it in a safety place, you're good. You can lose your USB, you can buy another one and you can open just with your phrase. If you lose your phrase, that's just the big deal because you lose everything. They don't have any telephone number or any customer service that you can call. Oh, I lose my 12 words, like my phrase. They want to tell you, oh,
Right.
sorry about that, but there's nothing we can do.
Do you feel as though it's necessary, like in the situation that we just discussed, where you are getting into crypto, you're just starting out, do you feel like it's necessary to start with a cold wallet in mind? Or do you feel like at what point does it become important to have a cold wallet?
It's depend of your practice. If you are really careful when you open a website and you only use a hot wallet, you can be perfect. Or be honest, I never use a cold wallet. Never in my 5 years in experience in the crypto world, because I don't need that. If I follow the steps to be safe and keep my cryptocurrency safer, I'm good. It's depend of the investor. Most of the people prefer leave their coins in the exchange because they don't wanna care by herself with the responsibility of the custody. If I lose, it's my fault. But if something happened with Coinbase or with Robinhood, I can call and they want to give me an answer, or maybe we can return a couple of your money or we do something for you. You understand?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. In the world where the hot wallet is compromised and it's not your fault, or there's some issue, you can talk to Coinbase, you can talk to Rob.
Exactly.
You're not shit out of luck, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
Now that we've talked a little bit about like where you'd begin, best practices, legitimate exchange, custody, being in a wallet is how you really benefit from no real exchange fees,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
For staking right now, most people, including myself, just stake on
Mhm.
Robinhood or Coinbase or whatever. That's very casual, it's very easy. But I have looked up what Solana, what Ethereum are staking at overall. And I now know that Robinhood and Coinbase are taking a spread of
Mhm.
that, obviously, for the
Yes.
service. How can one stake outside of just doing it with the person they bought the coin with?
Okay. If you want to do it outside, you need to understand one big protocol that is Aave. It's the most larger platforms in DeFi. It's huge. If I tell the
Okay.
numbers, you're gonna be crazy. In Aave, they connect to your wallet or your money and you put it in staking and you receive rewards.
Doesn't matter if you have a hot or a cold wallet for this.
Doesn't matter. Correct. Right now, in that protocol, the Aave, you have around $178.64 billion. The people that they put their money in stake. And if you're looking for blockchains, because I want to give you the website that is Defilama. If you go to Defilama, you can check how much money it's around in DeFi. If you go to Ethereum, only in Ethereum we have $100 billion in staking.
Hmm.
And what is the idea? You put your money right there, or you put your Ethereums. You're living in a staking, and they want to pay you maybe 5%, 3%. Everything is depend how much volume.
Yeah, if there's more demand for the protocol, they'll pay you a higher interest rate. Yeah,
What is the beauty of staking? Because you leave your Ethereum in staking, but you have the option to borrow with your Ethereum. You
interesting.
can put 4 Ethereums and you can borrow 2 Ethereums. With the money that you have in the borrow, you can buy more coins, correct?
Sure. Yeah,
It's end and cycle, end and
we do
cycle.
this all the time in the regular financial
Exactly.
system. Yes.
That's the beauty
Mhm.
in the staking and a DeFi world. And it's so many ways to do it. You can do a staking in a stable coins. You can do a staking in Solana,
Yes.
in
100%.
Ethereum, in Arbitrum.
But not every single crypto offers
No,
that.
because they don't offer because it's a DeFi protocol. They don't have any
Right.
regulation. It's the
Right.
wild us.
Yes.
You
Yes. Yes.
understand?
Yes. One final question on the matter of staking.
Yes.
Do you think it's worth taking the cryptocurrency out of the hot wallet or out of your cold wallet to do it on Aave or do it on a third party? Is the 1% or whatever the spread is it worth the time? Because it costs money, not money, it costs, let's just call it gas or whatever, to move the cryptocurrency back and forth. You also open yourself up to potential security risks if you're not careful. Is it worth it to you? In your opinion, does it make sense to go ahead and open up with Aave and stake it that way, or are you better served just leaving it in your Coinbase account?
It's depend. I love the decentralized way that we move money. If you love the decentralized way, you take the steps to learn
Sure.
how be sure if you move your money, how be sure what protocols I'm open, what page I'm using my computer. But if you don't believe in 100% like me in a decentralized way, just use Coinbase and Robinhood and another platforms and you'll be fine.
Let's talk about cryptocurrency selection. We already touched on BTC, Ethereum, Solana, the layer ones, and then everything else, which depending on the price is an altcoin or a shitcoin. You have $100 to put into crypto and you can do fractional. How much of that money is going into the big three, the layer ones that everyone knows and loves, and how much of that is going into the altcoins that are a little bit more obscure?
In my opinion, if you want to start to invest in cryptocurrencies, I put it maybe 40% in Bitcoin because it's just safety place.
How much?
30 and 40.
30 to 40,
Just
just
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's 100, it's 1,000, a million. I'm start with 30 and 40. The reason is all the cryptocurrency is volatile, but a Bitcoin is the less volatile of these cryptocurrencies. The other stuff is the market cap. Bitcoin is growing up every single day. All the institution is buying. The ETF is growing up every single day. And you want to keep the ETF, it's growing up every single day in a Bitcoin world. Exchange traded funds. Correct.
Got it. Continue.
Okay. With that, maybe I can put a 20% in Ethereum.
Okay.
In that case, we have a 50 and we have the 50
Let's
left.
say 30 Bitcoin, 20 ETH.
And if I start to doing a portafolio, I can put in 15% in SUI. It's a cheap coin right now. The price, $3.45. It's not expensive.
Okay.
It's a really good project, really fast.
Which blockchain is that built on?
Move. The language that they use is Move. And the nice part of the history is that blockchain, it's created for a couple of guys that are working for a lot of time with Mark Zuckerberg inside the Meta. If you remember, maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago, Meta, they tried to introduce a cryptocurrency with the name Libra. They give you all the information, they give you all the money, but for the regulation at that time, the CEC and the other governments, they say, no, it's not possible that Meta create his own cryptocurrency. When they close that department, that guy is going outside and start to create his own projects. SUI is one of the projects, and the other one is Aptos. Is created for the ex guys that are working in Meta. That is both, they're really good projects. And I'm investing in SUI since maybe almost 2 years ago. I'm started really cheap with that position and I love it.
That's awesome. So you said that it was built on the Move blockchain, but this might be my own ignorance here, my own naivete, excuse me. Is that on Ethereum or is Move its own level one?
Yes, a level one chain.
Okay, interesting. I did not know. Can you invest in Move? Or put money in? Does it not work like that?
They don't work in it that way because it's just the language that they're using for create the protocols.
I see. So there are languages or cryptocurrencies that do not trade on an exchange. Could it ever?
No, it's not possible.
Interesting. Okay, listen, that is a conversation for another day. We are at 65%, and it sounds like 50% of it is in level one, the ones that we love. The other, right now, the other 15 is allocated to a project that you obviously believe in. What are we doing with the other 35%?
We can use, maybe, let me see, I'm here. Tensor, maybe you never heard about that. It's Tao, is the ticker symbol, TAO. It's an AI technology.
How much, by the way, of your $100?
We have 30, 20.
We have 35 left.
Maybe 15, 15.
Another 15? Okay, another 15. Yeah, all right.
And that one, Bitensor, is a really unique project because it's created in the same ideology like Bitcoin. It's only 21 millions of coins. The real solution in that project is help with the GPUs in the computers. When you buy a Bitensor or Tau or coin, you can be a part of the nodos or noodles that you can receive information and you spread everywhere the information. And the idea is to give you a feedback of the community. What can we do better? That's a really good project. Okay. If you start to search in the YouTube word, maybe just less than 3 channels, they cover that blockchain. Nobody's talking about that. The price, it's around $330. It's not expensive.
Interesting. All right. Not crazy.
Exactly.
Not crazy. But I mean, you could buy fractional.
Yeah, obviously,
if you wanted
can
to.
buy a fractional.
Correct, so whatever. 20% left.
10% in Ondo.
And what's the last 10%? We'll let you go. Probably like talk about it.
Arbitrum.
Talk briefly about both of those. Go ahead. So the first 10% was
Ondo. It's a real world assets platform.
Okay.
One, it's Arbitrum, that is the layer 2 in Ethereum. That is really good. It's really cheap. It's really faster. Yeah, huge community.
That's interesting. You went with a layer 2 from Ethereum. Does that not feel like you're over allocating to Ethereum? Does the altcoin version of Ethereum trade with Ethereum for the most part?
In a couple of periods of the time in the alt season, they want to go moving more higher than Ethereum, the layer 2s, because all the money start to rotate it.
That's a great conversation. In summary, you would put about 50% of it into the layer 1s, Bitcoin and Ethereum, that everyone knows, everyone loves. You would put the other 50% into altcoins and projects that you believe in. Before we pivot, I got to ask, why no Solana?
Because SUI is better than Solana, in my opinion.
Interesting. Okay. No. I understand that. You think that SUI could take demand from Solana?
Okay. First of all, we need to understand Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP. It's in the crypto world for more than 10 years. And
yeah, Ripple or XRP gets a lot of love.
And the thing is, if you try to look in the better project for the next couple of years, you need to look in the new projects because they have less market cap, they have a new community, they give you the better option to buy in a lower price, and they go more higher. Solana, it's a really good layer 1, but they have a problem when they start to create a platform that you can create your own token or your own coin. When the volume it's too high, sometimes the blockchain, they stop it. They don't run anymore for blocks. And that's happened a lot of times in Solana. And it's a problem for maybe more than 4 years. And all the developers always go with the same question. What can we do? Because when we have so many volume, all the transactions, they block it. They stop it. In SUI, they never happen. Obviously, SUI is a much younger cryptocurrency, maybe less than 2 years. But with the volume that they're moving higher every single day, they show me and they give me the proof that it's better technology than Solana. Maybe they can compete the same way, but I prefer SUI because it's more cheapest. Solana is $235, something like that. SUI is only $3. They do it the same.
From the stock world. So when you talk about cheaper, you're not generally referring to just the price of the coin.
Exactly.
You could say total network value, whatever it might be, the whole blockchain value, and divide that by transactions per second or, whatever it is, and come up with some sort of valuation multiple. Now, I have no idea if that means anything. Who knows? Yeah. It's a small sample size. But in your opinion, you feel as though the newer coins, generally speaking, you're doing a great job explaining how SUI is more or less out innovating Solana, and you backed it up in how you would allocate your $100. You think that it has the potential to really grow over the next 2, 5, 10 years.
Yes.
Is there any way for a layer 1 to compete with that? Or are they just kind of SOL?
No, it's possible because everything you can track in on chain. What does that mean, tracking on chain? You can saw the volume per day, per weeks, per month in the layer 1 in the other ecosystem, because most of these chains like Ethereum, Solana, SUI, they have his own dexes. What is his DEX? Is the platforms when you can do a different strategies in DeFi. when you start to look in the numbers, the volume that they're doing, they show you the numbers that is SUI is moving more money than Solana right now in this moment. That's the kind of metrics that the people that is start to looking, where can I put my money? Where I want to invest? They start to look in the on-chain. Where's more money? Where is the 24-hour DEX is moving money? How much money? How many stable coins they has in his blockchain, in his layer one? Because USDC and USDT, they have to mint the stable coins in the blockchain, and they choose Ethereum, Solana, whatever. But most of the time, they're going with the faster and the cheapest because it's more easy for all the people buy right there in transactional and less fees.
I see. Okay. 2 more questions here before we wrap it up.
Sure.
People aren't talking about it as much now because I don't think the stock has done much. But Dan Ives went with 8 co-holdings. They've renamed themselves. They're becoming a WorldCoin crypto treasury. Done very little research on this. Their big thing is, I guess, is identity management, somehow managing identities on the blockchain. I'm not really sure what that encompasses. But in your opinion, and again, if you don't have one, that's also fair. Do you have an opinion on WorldCoin? Have you even heard of it before Dan Ives did anything with it? Or yeah, give us your 10
No,
cents.
I'm already know about all the project with WorldCoin because WorldCoin it's in the background. It's they have money with the OpenAI with Sam Altman because the idea with WorldCoin is they give you coins if you give it the option of the company they scan your iris. That is only unique. You know, your iris in mine.
Oh, wait. The project is taking your eye, like their project has to do with retinal iris.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
When you do it, you give it all the information to the company, and the company they give you back coins. In that case, is WorldCoin is the coin. That's the way that his work.
Okay. So hold on. Okay. Now, okay, that's crazy.
Yes, it's crazy.
I
Yeah.
like, so I was on my little
Mhm.
Robinhood wallet, and I'm like, all right, Dan Ives is throwing some money in this. Screw it. Let's just put $200 in there for fun. Like, I don't know. Like some people sports bet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You
take
do
little
it with
lottery
the
shots.
coins.
Like
Yeah,
whatever. Now that I am buying coins that have been generated by someone's biological
yeah.
data. Is there a set demand to WorldCoin, or is it just anytime someone puts their data in or registers for the first time, more is
Okay.
created?
On the beginning of the project, to start in the Europe, Madrid, Barcelona, I think Lisboa, and London, to start to put it like a stand of the WorldCoin. They explain it to you. If you give it the option to give you iris or the information, we can transfer and give you money in the wallet. What is the idea?
Okay.
Because in a couple of years, maybe we want to start to see if we want to move it inside to Europe, we have to do it a biometric things, you know?
So wait, say that last part again.
In a couple of years, we want to see that when the American people or the Latin American people try to go to visit Europe, you have to start to doing the biometrics. The biometric is
Why?
it's a law, it's the new law.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
law.
it's the new law. Start to Google it. Start to
Okay.
Google it and
Okay.
read
No, I
about
mean,
that.
listen, I'm not gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
And in that case, WorldCoin, they want to start to talk with the governments. I already have all the biometrics for these people.
Are they in talks with the government right now?
Yeah. And yeah,
Wow.
Europe, it's more like a open mind to do it. United States in the president Trump, they say no. Never,
There's no
never is
shot.
gonna happen right
There's
here.
not in
Not
this
in this
country.
country.
No.
Correct. But if you go to looking what happened in England and the UK and maybe a couple of countries in Europe, they already did. And they already have the
So
possibility.
I am familiar with the age verification laws that are trying to be passed in the UK or that already have. There is some pretty staunch opposition from some, but they're just kind of going
Yeah.
forward with it. I didn't realize that this was part of that. In honesty, I didn't realize that WorldCoin was so old, for lack of a
Yes.
better. I honestly thought the reason it was popular or the reason that it was getting the interest of Dan Ives was with all this AI proliferation. I don't know if you've seen the Sora 2 demo. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I thought it'd be like, listen, you need to find a way to almost, proof of human, so to speak. prove that you are who you say
Yeah, yeah.
that you are.
You are not a
Because
fake. You are not a AI app or something like that.
right, I'm not really sure how my WorldCoin proves I'm me, or like, but that's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
conversation for another day. But if proof of human is the solution, then there's certainly some sort of, addressable market demand, real
Mhm.
regulatory and legislative levers to be pulled.
That, that's
That's
gonna be
interesting.
a really huge discussion in the next couple of years, maybe here in the United States, because I'm sure the mass of the people
Yeah,
in
no,
the
that's
government they want to say no, but Europe they already opened the door for it.
we'll see. It only takes, one deep fake of somebody important before we're
Exactly.
open to it. The United States is a weird country about privacy.
Hmm.
Who has access to our information. We don't want the government to do it, but we will tell Mark Zuckerberg anything. Just is what it is. So we will see as time goes on. I think this is our last question. Maybe there's more. Oh, we have two
Sure.
questions. We have two questions. You are trapped on a desert island. I will come save you if you're able to predict the price of Bitcoin, but you only get 3 data points. What data points are you choosing?
The M2 global, the liquidity.
You're one of the man.
You don't believe in
Yeah.
that?
Okay. Fair enough. No, no, no. It's not that I don't believe. It's just I feel as though it's somewhat counterintuitive to somebody that is more crypto
Hmm.
native or believes that it is something that should exist outside of the financial institution, or rather outside of traditional
Yeah.
finance and regulated finance. But I've seen the charts. It's uncanny.
And the thing is, when the M2 is going up, the
Right.
people is trying to save money because they printing more and the less value in our dollars or in our
You
euros.
talk about inflation
Exactly.
hedges and stuff.
That's
Yes.
inflation. And what happened when the people they realize that the $100, if you go to Publix, is only $40. In reality,
Right.
to start to move it in a different asset that they give you a higher prices with the less value of money. They start to switch it. And the people, if the President Trump start to give you again $1,000 or $2,000 in checks, we do in the COVID period,
COVID.
what
Right.
what happened with that money? Most of the people they start to invest in something they create more money.
That was very kind. Invest. Many people
Yeah,
speculated, but
exactly.
sure.
But the people that they already understand how the
Correct.
market it's working, they put $1,000 maybe in Ethereum and they forget it. Maybe checking in a couple of
Hey, if
years.
I mean, we joked around that I think someone said, where would you put $10,000 if you couldn't touch it for the next 5 or 10 years? And Alvaro said basically the Vanguard, total
VOO.
stock, or VOO.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the American stock. And that might be the S&P. And honestly, sure, I believe him. But you and I was joking with you, and I'm like, well, I tell you where I'd put it. Slam that bad boy into Bitcoin.
yeah,
It is the best performing
yeah,
asset over the past 5 years. It was just a little tongue in
yeah,
cheek.
yeah, yes.
But I don't know if a lot of people know that the best performing asset class, if you want to consider Bitcoin an asset class, over the last 5 years as well.
Yeah.
So M2, obvious reasons. And I'll be honest, I'm happy you said it because I think that's fair. I think it's funny when people try to pretend like that relationship doesn't exist. I think that is a very high
Okay.
integrity thing to live, especially when your life is on the line on a desert island.
Yes.
So, do you need anything else? I mean, I'm going to give you 2 more.
No, I'm taking just the M2.
You're just taking
Yeah,
M2. All
because
right.
if
No,
more
that
print, I'm more switching for Bitcoin. It's easy. In my ideology,
okay.
obviously.
I think that's more than fair. That's more than fair. This is our last question. There is a very popular theory that if we were to crack quantum computing or scale it to a certain point, we could mine the rest of Bitcoin casually in a weekend.
Yes.
Now, if you believe that, you can make an argument that if you hold 5 or 10% Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in your portfolio, then it makes sense to have a 1% hedge in quantum. So, in your opinion, is it a threat?
Maybe I don't know how much money you have to invest for create a quantum computer. When you
That's
have the
fair.
computer, maybe less than 1 or 2 millions of Bitcoin for mine. But the thing is, for the Bitcoin network, for every single day that they mine, or the peoples that they have the nodes, they're working in the blockchain or in the ecosystem, you can do it like a program. You're sitting in the computer and you're running your nodes. All the people, they already know that it's a threat with the quantum computer. And they already start to prepare. How? I don't know exactly, but they already discuss what can we do Bitcoin to be safe with the quantum computer is coming here. Like you say, we don't know how many times we have to wait till the quantum computer can break the Bitcoin code. We don't know if it's possible or if it's not possible, but the question is around there.
So do you think that quantum computing could casually crack the Bitcoin algorithm?
I
Blockchain?
opened the door for the possibility, yes.
In your opinion, does that matter?
Not really, because at the time is coming in to the better technologies, better quantum computer, more CPU power, more GPU power. The cryptocurrencies, they want to do the same way. They want to evolution at the same way that the quantum computer. It's not only the quantum computer that is growing up every single day or every single month. It's the cryptocurrencies, they do the same. Because there's people sitting in the computer and they already understand, okay, somebody's trying to build a huge computer and try to break down our codes. We try to fight. We try to keep it safe, all the investors, all the protocols, all the coins that we have.
To help me understand, eventually, all the Bitcoin will be mined.
Yes.
What does that look like? What does that mean for the price of Bitcoin, the use of the technology once there's no more mining to do?
If we go back to the white paper of Bitcoin, the principal idea is a peer-to-peer system. What is the idea? A transaction person to person to move money.
No bank, no
No
middleman.
bank, no middleman, nothing. Just you and me. When all the Bitcoin is already outside of the world, the Bitcoin is going to be more easy to use and to transfer and to understand. Because in my opinion, most of the people, they start to use it like a currency. I want to buy a coffee, I pay in Satoshis. And the Satoshi is recycled and is moving around every single time.
What did you call that? A Satoshi?
Satoshi. Okay. Satoshi, it's when you buy a little piece of Bitcoin. Because one Bitcoin is $120. But a Satoshi, it's $0.00001 or something like that.
Is that just the name of a
It's
fractional
the name
Bitcoin,
of the fractional Bitcoin, correct? Satoshis.
It has a name.
It's Satoshis.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Is that after the designer?
Yes, after the designer. Because when they start to try to put the real value of Bitcoin, they start to say, no, all the people can buy Satoshis. You don't need to buy a completely whole Bitcoin. You can buy Satoshis or pieces by pieces. That's the idea.
I see.
In my opinion, 2040, 2050, 2060 year, all the people start to use Bitcoin. Yes. Like Apple Pay, I give you money. You can tap, you move Satoshis. That's it. That's the principal idea.
So once all the Bitcoin is mined, it will cost less to transfer Bitcoins around?
Yes. When the blockchain it's moving more money, they become less expensive. It's something that happened in Solana already, in Ethereum already. Because if you go maybe, I don't know, Aptos or maybe WorldCoin, that it's a coin that they don't move a lot of volume in a 24 hours, the gas fee is highest because they have less nodes, less computers working or doing the transactions. When you have more person using the same system, they become more cheapest and cheapest and cheapest. Coinbase, they already launched in Gemini a crypto credit card. You can buy and you receive a cashback in Bitcoins. What is the idea?
Yes.
The people start to use Bitcoin because that's the way. It's not just for hold. Okay, it's perfect if you want to hold all your money in Bitcoin because it's growing up every 5 years. Most that all the stocks, or most the gold of the VOO or SPY. But if you want to really help the people to understand Bitcoin, you have to transact with Bitcoin. Move Satoshis.
Satoshis.
Yeah.
I like it. Thank you so much for all of this time. We've hit on all of my questions. Fantastic.
Don't worry, my
I
pleasure.
got one of those conversations where you get a lot of answers, but I think you also get a lot more questions.
Yeah, you have more
And
questions. I understand that.
yes, we're going to probably end up doing a live podcast, or maybe we'll take questions from the Discords and do something that's a little more formulated between us three.